Hello everyone and welcome back to my opinion. The third day of this fourth test match has come to a close. And from my previous video, I'd said if England added 200 runs to their overnight score, this would be a very difficult match for India to win. They've scored above 300 runs today, and I think they'll continue batting for a decent while. And I'd said there were 46 overs bowled in the England innings yesterday. Shardul Thakur bowls 5 of them. Today, almost 90 overs, he bowls 6 of them. And I heard in the press conference, I think after day 2, that he said it's in the captain's hands how often I bowl. And it was suggested that he was informed that he wouldn't be getting much bowling in this case. And what I'm saying there is, the 41 that he scored in the first innings, how often is he going to score that? Not too often. And you've not been giving him bowling. They couldn't have accounted for Rishabh Pant's injury, but if you're not strengthening your bowling or your batting because you're not bowling Shardul Thakur, they could have brought in a batsman. And even if Rishabh Pant got injured, which we saw, then you could look to add a few more runs. I would have preferred Kuldeep Yadav to play. He should have played because you've got two defensive spinners in Washington, Sundar and Jadeja. And I think they have played their roles because I've said before, as a combination with a ball, can you expect them to win you a match in overseas conditions? No, you can't. Washington, they bowled him a lot after the match was finished in my view, because they didn't bowl him in the previous day. He's bowled 19 overs, 2 for 57. Jadeja has also bowled at 3.5 an over, bowled 33 overs. In my view, both those two defensive spinners have done their job. Unfortunately, building from the point which I mentioned in the previous video, where it's not my knowledge, but it's been said elsewhere, and we saw that today, where they didn't hit the correct lengths. And in the 54th over of the English innings, Mohammad Siraj hit the correct length and the ball veered up to Jura. And we didn't see that too often. And yes, Bumrah, I would say he hasn't been as sprightly in this match. And another thing I'd like to say about that is he's bowled 5 no balls. When he bowls no balls is when, as we saw in the Australia series, is when he is striving and he is unable to really execute because he's not physically in the great frame of things. And there's been a stat to say he's not bowled deliveries at 140 kph in this match thus far. And in my view, I wouldn't be surprised if he breaks down soon. I don't want him to, but I talked about the bowling ratio, where if a fast bowler bowls a quarter of the overall overs bowled, that's a big workload. Bumrah's bowled 28 out of 135, so he still falls under the quarter ratio. However, because he's bowled 28 overs, for someone like Bumrah who's got a biomechanically strenuous action, then I would say that kind of workload is a lot for him. So, and he's got no support. Now, Anshul Kamboj, people are saying his pace is down. They put the keeper up to him as well. He's a highly skilled bowler. He can bowl around that 135 kph mark, but we didn't see that today. I think he'll come good in the future. Mohammad Siraj did not bowl. Shardul Thakur, they did not bowl. So the resources have been managed very poorly for India. You've only got Bumrah. The moment we've seen this happen before in Australia, the moment there are signs of him breaking down, he was off the field because of suspected ankle injury, and we saw what happened. And on England, we saw, they say it's suspected cramps, but I still feel, and I've said this before, Ben Stokes' bowling workload, he's bowled 20 overs in an innings more often than not. And he may return to bat tomorrow and he may not experience too much discomfort. He returned today, he may not experience too much discomfort. He'd be looking to score a century, since I think he hasn't done for 2 years. But it's where if he continues to bowl 20 overs in an innings more often than not, then we will see this happen. And I'm not surprised that that is what happened for him. So there are only 2 results possible now. One, England winning or the match being a draw. India have got to bat very well from here when they do bat, because even if you leave just over 100 runs for England in a session, they'll look to chase that down. So I repeat, only 2 results possible. One, England winning or a draw. Let's see what happens. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, share with friends, and remember, this is my opinion. What's yours?